Welcome to Intended Engineers. I'm your host, Chris Tyses. We're here with another NNN show talking about something different, but it's got to do with our streams that we do, streaming video games. So we use OBS Studio, which is the software that allows us to do our streams, which is, really cool. We can do our startup screens and it shows off our video games and when I'm just talking to you with the webcam and stuff like that. We also use something called Streamlabs, which is a company that helps you with the alerts, such as the subscribe on the other side that you might have just seen there, and with alerts. So when you see an alert that pops up with a donation or a new subscriber, that's what we use as Streamlabs. And also too, that Streamlabs has Streamlabs OBS, which is like a spin-off software of OBS Studio. They're pretty similar in name. So just sort of get that in your head sort of at the moment to understand. So OBS Studio is one brand and you've got Streamlabs as another brand. So there was a bit of Twitter drama happening when one other sort of streaming type company that helps streamers out with their setups, calling out Streamlabs for a little bit of copy and paste work. Let's have a look at what I mean by that. So, Lightstream is a powerful live streaming studio in your browser, no downloads, all that sort of stuff. And they said, hey, can I copy your homework? Yeah, just change it up a bit so it's not obvious. So as you can see, it might be a little bit hard to see with this type of image on the screen. But basically, Streamlabs has completely copied and pasted their setup, almost word for word. So they've changed up a little bit. They say level up your console streams instead of level up your Xbox, PlayStation streams. Then you start to see the real copy and paste. Cloud capture for console streams, full layout design control, go live in minutes. Is that different or it's? But you can tell by both of these, they are quite the same. You can see that Streamlabs has copied and pasted pretty much even word for word of this side. You can see that both of these pages are very similar. Obviously, Lightstream has done this first, and Streamlabs has copied and pasted. So that's a fairly big naughty. I find it pretty surprising they did do something like that. So that's not really nice. And as you can see, the co-founder of Lightstream was not very happy about that type of thing. So the team at Streamlabs should be ashamed, not satisfied enough to ride OBS Studio Project's hard work, now to copy ours down to the layout and every word on our marketing side and our UX in this product, which is a pretty scumming move to do by Streamlabs. The third one is even more interesting. I think this is where it kind of went, wow, that's a pretty scummy thing to, wow, I'm not going to use Streamlabs again. OBS Studio themselves, the well-known group that makes OBS Studio, the magic software that makes everything possible for me during my streams that I use. Near launch of Slobs, which is Streamlabs OBS, Streamlabs reached out to us using the OBS name. We kindly asked them not to. They did so anyway and followed up by filing a trademark. Wow. We've tried to sort this out in private, and they have been uncooperative at every turn. There's a little bit more. We're often faced with confused users and even companies who do not understand the difference between the two apps. Support volunteers are sometimes met with angry users demanding refunds. We've had interactions with several companies who did not realize their apps were separate. Legally, they have obeyed the terms of the GPL, but they have repeatedly disregarded the spirit of open source and of giving back. Streamlabs does have a Prime service where they charge you quite a lot of money per month for a service that isn't really good, to be honest. That's why I've never paid anything to Streamlabs. Despite these actions by Streamlabs, the OBS project will continue to provide free open software and tools for everyone. We'll continue to support our users, the community, and our amazing developers for the hard work. They do a lot of hard work, and some of the stuff that you can do with OBS Studio is quite amazing. Like, the instant replay that we've had on our streams recently, and just all the cool stuff that you can really honestly do on it. So there was another interesting thing here too, that Elgato actually threw in something. Generally signal boosting that. I think Elgato, have a look at this. Know that feeling? Control your live stream from your phone with Streamlabs Stream Deck. Now, Elgato has their Stream Deck, the little machine that I used to have where you press buttons and, funny things happen, or I can change a scene. That's a physical product that they own, and they kind of ripped the name off and just stuck it to their own, which is pretty scummy of them, to be honest. But it seems like Streamlabs has made a mistake. We made a mistake. Text on the landing page was placeholder text that went into production by error. This is our fault. We removed the text as soon as we found out. Our intended version is now live. Lightstream team is great, and we reached out directly to apologize. What? Come on. Come on. And the reply from one of these people, just the one below, is actually quite good. You made a mistake. Like when you took an open source software, changed the UI, and then put it behind a paywall, because this is free software. It's like, taking WordPress, which is my blog, and then charging it money, right? Or when you copy Elgato Stream Deck amp, or when you subscribe users to your premium service without their consent, and that's scratching the surface. So they've had a habit of ripping people off Streamlabs, and it's a pretty scummy thing for them to do. And I would say that we'll pop back to the main screen by magic. There we go. So even a lot of big streamers are very unhappy about what has happened. Like, we're talking about people who have like 300,000 followers on Twitter to like 600,000 plus. A lot of them are really, really pissy at this, like, Streamlabs actions of, just sort of ripping off other companies, borrowing people's names, and turning an open source free software into a paid version, which is a pretty scummy thing to do. Now, this creates a bit of an issue or a somewhat dilemma here at NNN Engineers, because we do use Streamlabs for our alerts and for our loyalty system, which is, the total hours that people watch our streams on, right? As you know, Dale was out on 4 million hours, and you have the list of people that sort of watch our streams and for how many hours, and some people like using it, like, Kevin, one of our viewers, and a few other people that like to check on those things. But we might have to scrap that, or we might have to change things up, because I don't feel like I should continue to use Streamlabs as a service anymore because of these type of practices, which I'm pointing at my desk main TV that had that information there. So, and to be honest, Streamlabs, you have to have a web page open, and you have to use a separate software to open as well for the text files to be read and to be put up when the alerts come up, which is kind of annoying. And it does put more pressure on my CPU. We have a laptop here, so it's not like, it's a good laptop, but it would be nice to find a solution that doesn't tax too much on the CPU, right? Means that if the laptop runs better, then the streams run better. It makes me happy. It makes you guys happy and ladies too, and it makes the world go around, so to speak. So I think that we will probably be making a move to stream elements. And it means that we don't have to deal with Streamlabs. And sometimes it hasn't worked, Streamlabs. For example, um, Mr. Bendy or Bunny, we're talking about the people who watch my streams. Or Dale would, do the top hours into the chat room and it wouldn't work. It just doesn't work. Some streams it did, and other streams it wouldn't be counting the hours or it wouldn't be doing its job properly. And I have no idea why. And their sort of customer service, the help service wasn't very useful. So I think that I'll have to make that executive decision and start making a move to stream elements and see how that goes, I think. And stream elements have their own, they have a lot of features that Streamlabs has. They have a few additional things that look really interesting and promising. So this might be a good thing for us to make that move as we're continuing to make our streams better. We've got the instant replay and we're working on the new PC next year. We've got this pretty cool logo up above my head. So this might be the time to continue making these really positive changes for the stream and to see how things go. So, but yeah, how about that? Streaming software, dramas on Twitter. You see something different every day, but hey, we are living through a pandemic and we have seen some very bizarre things in the last 2 to 5 years, so to speak. So that's the thing. So I've nearly lost my voice now, and that's a good cue to end this video. But yes, that was an interesting NNN show. So there will be some stream changes because of it. You might not see many changes, playing video games or watching me playing video games. But I'll let you know what those changes will be to the streams once I get these things set up. But thanks for listening to anyone who wanted to listen to a bit of, Twitter drama about this. But yeah, pretty scummy thing by Streamlabs. They have a habit of just copying and pasting and sort of ripping off everyone else. And the paid version of the work they do is not real good. All right, that's it for me, and I shall see you next time.